It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's coming.
No, sí, ya comió.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
we can hear you.
Yes, Turbo.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing great, great, great. Yes, yes. James and
Yeah, what's up, Fong?
yes, I'm just hearing a huge echo, but that's good. Yeah, Turbo. James and James, you guys have your mic open, so can you guys just close it? Okay, I just mute him. All right. So let's start. Okay, let's start with our just gonna record. So welcome guys to our Sunday watch list. Today we'll be looking at the events of past week, and then we will Turbo will present his watch list for the upcoming weeks. Well, not his entire one, but like some interesting picks, and then we will end up with the interesting earnings that we have this week. That includes Walmart, HD, Baidu, JD, Target, and Lowe's. Those I think those are pretty interesting earnings that will come this week. So we'll have a look into that. But let's jump in right into a review of last week trading activity. Okay. So so let's have a look of SPY first. Okay, SPY. SPY on the daily on my left. I just cleaned the chart up a little bit. So we have a little gap below us that we found support on right here. And it's right into the 50-day moving average. Right at 404. So 404 is becoming our support now. I have a pretty nice box here that I think covers that support well the price action just before the big dip here. So my zone is around 416, 417 with 415. So I give like 450, like high 415 to low 417. That is my consolidation zone right now. We can see the point of control near at 417 on SPY. If we look at candle like price pattern, I think in the week we end up negative, huge hammer candle, red hammer candle. So that is clearly a bearish, potentially a reverse in the trend. But as we can see here, SPY is in a very like relatively sharp angle of a pennant. Okay, so it's kind of squeezing right now, respecting both the upper trend line and the lower trend line. So this week we really saw, like in the beginning of the week, a big flush down to the downside of the whole market, and then we kind of picked up through Thursday and Friday, right? So oops. Okay, so when I pull my daily, if you look at the daily, okay, so Monday, opening of the week, we just flushed down, okay, and then we kind of, just end up below our volume shelf here, right at 418. Okay, so we stopped right there, and then pre-market just dump us to the downside towards 414. So we were still in our trading range, but then we got out, and then here clearly a buy signal for buyers to step in when the price touched the 50 moving average around 403, 404. Okay, and then Thursday and Friday came, big rebound. I just want to point out that maybe for now, um, this 418 and 404 will create the new trading range that we will be trading on, maybe for potentially for next week. Okay, like if we do not gapped up above this volume shelf. Okay, so if we do not cross 418, we're clearly in a trading range. Okay, like we will be chopping for the next week. Chopping means consolidating, which means going up and down in the same range. And the two borders of the range are again for 17 418, and then 404. Okay, so that is it for SPY. My personal opinion, I think that after that we found the 50 moving average, uh I think we may have some bullish price action coming in, especially because of Friday we crossed above. We can clearly see it here. We crossed above the 20-day moving average, which is a great buy signal for the market. Okay. um Oops. So great buy signal for the market. So long SPY, I mean, we're kind of in a soft spot right now. Um, that we don't want to force trade a lot, but I just want to point out that this scenario here looks a lot like back in Feb crashed right here, right, where when we touched our 50 moving average, we bounced up, and then we just gapped down immediately after that, like the next 3 days. So I just want to point out that we didn't touch our support trend line, and that can happen. Okay, just to fill the gap right here, for example. Um, so now what I'm really looking for SPY for the next week is, I think, a retest to the downside. Okay, I do not think that SPY will go all time high again, but hey, who knows, right? I might be wrong on that, but my view on SPY is that it should at least retest, some kind of a slow movement down on on either this support, or on Monday it can gapped up really quickly and flush hard the rest of the week. So I'm really looking for continuation for SPY. It's either a rejection here for the point of control down to the support line, or we break it and then we touch all time high again around 425, and then we gap down. Okay, um, touching this this uptrend support. Then if we have a look at the Qs, and the Qs have a clearly different outcome for the previous week. Well, we saw, we gapped up Monday, and then no, I think this was Monday, or no, I think this is Monday or something. Right, Monday was 10. Okay, so this was Monday. So Monday, big flush down to our 50 moving average. Um, Big flush down again the next morning, but we would end up to test again the 50 moving day average, and then we just consolidate. Is it really consolidation? I would say it's more like a rebound. Shorts covering. The bears are taking profit, okay, out, and then we kind of see a first automatic rebound. Can strong very strong candle close right at the 50 moving average. So for the tech sector this week, I think we're in a no zone where we don't get any clear insight where tech is going, because first we have our 20-day moving average above us here, and then we're kind of trapped between the 20-day moving average and then our support here at 316, right? So not like it's a clear trading range, but I think we're too early on it to trade. So if I had to trade the Qs, I'll be looking a quick scalp towards 333 potentially, but I think it's a high risk, very high risk trade. By looking at the 1 hour though, SPY price action, Q's price action seems very strong. But again, we're still in the shadow of the 10-year and inflation, that is, giving a warning for us to potentially the full stock market to pull back, as a market in general. So QQQ is, I think the risk reward is not there for a trade. Even though it's like my system of EMAs is pointing me to the upside, but I think the risk reward, for example, is not really worth it, because it's not that big. Okay, it's something around 1.61, and we also have this downtrend here that Qs is also doing lower lows, okay, and lower highs, right? So here and here, here and here, it's lower highs and lower lows. So that is potentially, well, it means that we're still in a bearish trend. So we really need to break it out, to change the trend, and watch out for fake outs too. Okay. And then I just want to point out a good statistic on the PCC, which is the put call ratio. Okay. So just quickly, put call ratio. So put call ratio here, it touched 1 last week at 12 May 12th, so around Wednesday. So I think Wednesday was a pretty bad day, and then Thursday and Friday we kind of rebound from our support zone for kind of every stock. Okay, just gonna put this in white. So we see Friday here, May 12. PCC put call ratio touched 1, which is a very high ratio for the put call ratio, which means that a rebound is automatically like is highly expected, because the put call ratio was way too high, near the 1 level. Usually the put call ratio is say around 0.8, 0.75, and when it's becoming above 0.95, it's become that the fear is becoming too big. Okay. So bulls will step in to defend their position, to defend the call side. And then so Halion watched the PCC. This was a great trading signal for the whole stock market to getting long. Okay, so that was it for last week. I just want to see the cues. So last week was it was a big bearish hammer. So uncertainty, potentially a change in trend. So we need to see this week if the week will end up bearish. But again, just a reminder that we're right now in a bearish, a short bearish term trend for the market. All right, Turbo. Do you have?
Yo.
Yes. What up?
That's good. Let me share the screen real quick.
Yes,
Or no, it
sir.
doesn't let.
No, I need to close mine, and then you can show yours.
All right, sounds good.
Perfect. All right. All right. Can you go?
It says host disabled participant screen sharing, so not sure what that's about.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. You should be able to now.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. So let me move this over so it doesn't bother the chat. All right. So got a couple stocks on watch for this week. Had a longer watch list than we did the past couple weeks. I'm really looking for. Oh, by the way, Fong, you might want to move the screen over to. It's not recording on YouTube. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got a couple of them on watch for this week. I have first up, we've got CHCI. So this one has some pretty big range to it. If we're really looking, we just need to break over that previous range right there at 7.83, and then we've got our next level at $15. So this one could make a pretty nice push up. I do think that if we can get enough momentum, we kind of reject it up here, right? That would be a gap fill at that point. We kind of rejected at that point. If we can break over that, we've got a pretty nice move anywhere within this range right here. So that's for CHCI. I think we get enough momentum going. That would be a pretty great play. We've got UONEK. So this one's a Black Lives Matter stock, I believe. It's usually runs with that. It's Urban One. This one I'm seeing a gap should get filled at 376. Okay, we've got a previous resistance point at 350. If we could break over that resistance point right there, we could very easily fill in that gap and all the way make a run to our next point at $4.49, $4.49 range. So I'm watching UO1K. We got a nice push up on Friday. Got a pretty nice run, 15% right there. I do think that these ones are more of a sort of event-based play. So we'd have to watch for something related to Black Lives Matter rather than just purely technical. So do keep this one on watch. I like the chart setup, but we need something to push it. Next up, we've got HOFD. So this one's a setup from a sports company. So I believe it's a football company if I'm not mistaken, but it is bouncing off that $3 range. So it's holding that $3 range pretty nicely. Over here, we got our low was at $3. Formed higher lows over here. I do think Coffee could make a nicer push up as long as it doesn't break below that $3 point. I think this one could be a great one. I do think not much really pushing it right now. We're just basing this one purely off of the chart, right? We're just going off that $3 support range. So it does have the tendency to make pretty big moves too. So just keep this one on watch as well. We've got VTNR. This one's a cheaper play. So smaller moves on things like this will also be very, will bring in pretty nice profit, right? So we're watching the first level I've got up is $2.03 from 192. From there, we've got nothing really until we reach 240's range to, 235, 240. So it's pretty much open land from there. I do think we have to bust through that $2.03 range. Again, all these plays are based off of momentum. We've been seeing a lot of volume these past couple of days on VTNR. So that is a great sign. So this one, we're just watching for 2.03 clean break. We have RHE. RHE got pretty nice setup on the 1 hour. I know Dark Knight was also looking at this as well. This one also tends to run with BTX. So I do think if BTX can run break out of its downtrend, we could very easily see a nicer push on RHE for that one. So if we can head over to that, let's see. ATOS, I've been playing this one for a while. It's been on my watch list for 3 weeks now. Been playing this one since 220s. We have some pretty unusual options activity on this one. I do think that we could make a very nice push up, right? We're forming higher lows every time. Could make a very interesting move up. And the options, I believe they expired on the 17th, but this one is still strong. I really do think that ATOS has more in the tank. So let's see, especially after that 22% run on Friday, we've had another 16% run on the 7th. So we're watching really if this can continue that momentum, continue creating higher lows, and we could eventually get a break over that 3.60 range for a run. Next up, we've got EGH. So EGH, this one was an IPO yesterday. We played it, not yesterday, Friday. We played this one pretty nicely. Had a pretty nice run up, right? We got over 100% on this play. It was a there was a lot of halts. There wasn't too much that we were basing this play off of, but I do believe this one could carry that momentum into next week. So I do really think that this one could make another run, especially we saw in after hours, we got another nice pump heading into it. So keep this one on watch for pre-market and see how it performs during market hours. So we also have that. We've got LEDS and Mosey. So LEDS was another great play that we had. LEDS had a beautiful run in after hours. We got that. It was over, I believe, 20%. So LEDS usually is a semiconductor play. Should run. Mosey ran the other day on Friday, so this one continued. Was the continuation of that run in after hours. So I do think if LEDS could continue, right, we could very easily see a nicer push up. I saw also the other day that the Senate is supposed to come to a decision on the chip, the semiconductor chip shortage. So I do believe that we could get a nicer push up on this one. So I'm watching this as well as Mosey, right? And then we've got, let me check the watch list one more time. Let me see what else we had on here. Yeah, so that was pretty much all I have on watch. I do have also Naked. So Naked is a penny stock, right? We've got a sub $1 stock. This one had pretty nice runs back then, right? This one had like a 252% run. This was during that Wall Street Bets time. They do have to reach, I believe, $1 in order to be compliant. It is forming higher lows compared to if we're looking at the daily chart, and I do believe that this one should make a similar run to what it had back then, right? There's a lot of shorts on this one too, so this one can make a nice run up in the next couple of days. You could see it bust over all the way to $1. So really having this one on watch, not too much on it really going on. Really would have to bust over that 77 cent range. I do have 0.40s as an ideal adding zone, right? Just basic support and resistance on this one. So we'll be watching this one for a nice move up. The top watchers I really have for this week are RHE, Naked, and UONEK. So keep those three on watch mainly. I do think penny stocks gain some more momentum heading into the summer. As of right now, we're kind of in a dead position, not too much really going on. Yeah, so as far as that goes, these are just the top 7 stocks that I have on watch. I most likely, as the week goes on, I'll release more stocks that I want to see make nicer moves, but over the weekend right now, this is all I can really find. So it's D7, HOFB, BTNR, UONEK, CHCI, RAG, Naked, and LEDS, and Mosey, ATOS, and BTX as well. So keep those couple stocks on watch.
Yes, thank you, Turbo. That's great. I mean, like just by looking quickly at your setup, like your your pick really stick with your trading style, right? Scalping stocks. So I think like everything that you showed, like just by a quick look from your chart, it seems very good for some couple of pennies scalp. So guys, watch out for that. We have Philmon who asked us if we can take a look at UWMC chart.
WMC.
Yeah, UWMC.
What
do you think of this?
I do think that it's just at an all-time low right now. Nothing too interesting on it, trading near that range. I do think if we can bust over,
seeing some volume picking up the last 4 days.
It is picking up, but I don't usually like playing these stocks that are forming new all-time lows, right? It's coming off one because I don't know what I'm basing off of, right? So my types of plays are, I like playing previous support ranges. I like playing areas where I think people will be buying.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing much on this unless we get news or like some type of PR. I'm not really seeing too much on this play right now.
Yeah, me too. And I agree with you. Like when we're searching for a price, we're looking at some support level, and right now UWMC doesn't, it just have 625 right now as a support, but like we don't know if if it's strong enough. Although it has a pretty good rebound out of it, but if we don't cross, I can see on your chart like what's the pivot point, like the resistance zone on the daily, like
As
the
of
little
right
peak right
now,
here.
I am seeing. First up, we'd have to break over this 840s range.
Yeah,
845.
840 exactly, 840.
And then we could head over to 923, and then from there, 965, $10, and all the way up to 12. But I do think that I wouldn't take an entry here.
No.
I would much rather we'd much rather play a break over 840. I'd much rather either watch for that, or I would wait for this support to confirm, and then
Yes,
as of right now, nothing too interesting really on it.
exactly. And if we look at some consolidation zone for UWMC, we can see that from from 8 to low 7, it's
Yeah.
kind of like like a consolidation zone where and then the price crossed the 20. What is it, what is your build line, the MA5?
Mine is the MA5, yeah.
Exactly, MA5. So when it crossed the MA5, and then we look at the price action, we can see some very weak price action, right? So big price action, big candle crossing the MA5, and
Yeah.
then the next candle it's it's pretty much like volatile, very small body, big wick towards the upper end and the lower end, and then Friday we had a very weak day, it's not weak, but it's like squeezing, kinda, and we can
Yeah.
see that price didn't move up much, right? And then the small candle just means that investor tends to agree, tends to have agreed for this price around 751.
Yeah.
So again, as Turbo said, I will really be looking for the cross of the break of 840, the 840 range, and not touch it, like when it's in its trading range.
I also do think that this one was more of just a gap fill rather than a
Yes.
rebound. So other than
Yes.
that, I would wait for it to confirm that 625 support. This just looks like a pretty weak bounce for me. I also do not like one thing about it. It's not my style. I mean, I don't love stocks that trade like this. I
Yeah,
don't have like an apparent sort of
like big
chart I can
push
look
to
at
the
and
upside, right? Like big
yeah,
gap
I
up
don't
to
I don't have
the.
anything.
Exactly. Exactly. Like it shows nothing to us that like even in pre-market, like what,
Yeah.
like we touch what, like 773. I just saw it, and
Hmm.
then after market on Friday we saw 775. So
Yeah.
not a strong price action there. So
Yeah.
I want to see more from UWMC.
Also had someone say, can you take a look at OPGN? Yeah. 1 second.
PGN.
All right. So OPGen, I know this one for being a sort of a random pop and drop style play. Nothing. I do play these for smaller scalps. So what I'm seeing right now is we had a gap down. At some point, I think we do break over that 222 range. As of right now, I think we should probably see a little more weakness. Should drop a little more. Nothing too special. I think if we get PR, this one's usually one of those PR runners. We don't really see too many breakouts on it.
It seems like
this is
163 is a good level to cop some shares, maybe for a scalp.
yeah,
Right
I mean, this would
below.
be the safest entry. Maybe
Yeah.
if you could get, so 160's range is probably the safest entry you could get. But again, I mean, that's just low risk because you can also put your stop loss right below it. So I do think as far as this one, I just love playing the scalps on this. This one is usually known for being like a 100% runner, 200%. You just take a quick scalp on this. So this is not as much as for a swing as much as I would just wait for a pop and scalp that smaller scalp. I mean, smaller run.
Can you check Torch?
Yeah, of course.
Torch.
So this one, nothing too interesting. We are just bouncing around in this smaller area. me take a look at this. My screen's kind of lag. All right, perfect. So it does look good for a push up. It's given market conditions right now where smaller caps aren't doing too amazing. I do think Torch could really we get over that 2.40s range. That looks like a pretty heavy resistance range as far as I can see. We're forming higher lows, which is also a great sign. Looks pretty good. I do think once smaller caps gain more momentum, and then I think we can see a nice push up on this. And you said with the proxy vote coming up, I do believe that with PR, any stock with PR is going to run pretty well. Obviously, good PR, it's not going to run well if it's bad PR. But if they do release nice news, then that would be great for a run. This one's looking prime.
Yes, and again, Torch, looking for break of I have 246 on mine.
Yeah, 245 for me, but
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't like the price action that we saw like last week. Not a very strong price action. Volume didn't picked up. On the weekly, it's a consolidation. If you look at on the weekly, yeah, you can see the red candle, the red hammer. Well, it's a relatively small one, but we kind of took support up on your on your 5 moving average, and then we slam right back down to take support. So nothing really interesting for Torch coming from proxy, but again 245 level, it's gonna be the level to take from. And if we want to have a support, I'm looking at 124 for
124. I also do have as long as we don't break the higher low.
Yes,
as of right now I'm seeing it's forming higher lows. I also do think the problem with Torch is the stock usually tends to just be one of those like random pops, right? So you can't really predict it. It's gonna be like something news comes out one day. So we could definitely have that proxy vote as something. They do tend to like have these random ones out of nowhere, but just keep on watching. And then we have that 245 range, is a pretty heavy resistance. We've tested it once, twice, 3, 4 times already. So it's looking like a pretty heavy zone for me. So yeah, over 245, we should see a nice push up. Archon, let me take a look at Archon.
Archon looks nice.
Yeah, this one does. So we're forming higher lows again. I do think we'd have to get a clean break over 980. I think 980 is our level to break. And then we can make a nice run to 1015. Yeah, and then after 1015, I think it becomes just free runners. And then OEG. Let me take a look at OEG. Earnings tomorrow. Earnings plays are going to be a little bit of a risk, like sort of a lotto play, right? So I wouldn't really base that off anything. But what I am seeing on this one is we bounced off this previous resistance range. So if you look over here, we had not there, over here. Bounced perfectly off that previous resistance range, so it's respecting it. If you were to take an entry on this, I guess 290 would really be your ideal entry. $3, 290. Anything below would probably cut it. And then we could see a nice push up, I think 457. So it's a pretty low risk, high reward trade. Then again, but we also have to keep in mind the IWM. The IWM is the small cap sort of SPY. If that gets more momentum, I think we could really see nicer moves up on these stocks like this. But with earnings, remember Robin talking about Zom in his channel a few weeks ago. So I don't really like Zom. I did play this when it was at 20 cents. I believe it was a little. I don't believe it as a really good stock. Not too much potential. I mean, the company's nice, but as far as I'm seeing, it's just not really holding anything. I do think we probably fill that gap in all the way down to 48 cents. Nothing too crazy on it, unless we could get some crazy like news. Like they probably, I know it's like a pet company, or it was something like that. I believe it was one of those, but if we could see a nice PR on it, or if we could see some sort of momentum coming back in small caps could make a nice run. We saw in what was this, February, had a nice run again.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I just want to point out quick things for ZOM. It's right on its 200 moving day average on the
yeah.
daily. So if you're long term this stock, I think this is a great point to average down in your case. But again, like if it breaks the 200 moving average, we're really looking at the 0.5013 zone, according to price level to volume shelf, on the VPVR volume profile. So if you break the 200 to the downside, we're really looking at an average down towards 0.50. I don't really know about what Zombie is doing, so I can't, I'm not really interested in this stock right now, but it's because I don't really know what they're doing. But again, it's not looking, that like volume is very very weak on Zom. Nothing crazy through the last 2 weeks. So I think maybe this is a dead cat, a dead stock, that is still remaining. But again, it's like if you're long, it's a great place to average down right now. Um, like maybe try to get something near 0.70. Yeah, but if you break out 200, we're going straight to 0.5.
Yeah, probably that gap gets filled. And I think longer term, I think we do have a gap over here at the
Yeah,
top.
that gap.
I mean, longer term, this could probably be like an SNDL type play. We saw SNDL had like 300 different gaps filled like once here. So if it's long term, like we had a mega gap here, would have thought that SNDL would make that run up there. But I do think if we could get if it's dead, it's dead. I don't think we'll even fill that in ever. But if it is to make a nice push, I think we could probably see a fill. So yeah.
All right. So let's have a quick look into earnings this week. So Turbo, if you can pass me the screen again.
Second, let me.
Great.
Zoom.
This week has some interesting earnings. So Turbo, just a quick question. Screen 3. Oops, I need to redo my screen again. Sorry. Stop the shit. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry guys, technical problem. It's coming right back on. There we have. Wait, what? I don't have the right screen, sorry. Okay. Screen 1. Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. Okay, so Turbo, we have some interesting earnings coming this week. I noted Walmart, HD, Baidu, JD, Target, and Low. We also have SE. And then I just saw Ride here. Personally, from Ride, I do not expect anything, anything crazy. But do you see some interesting play in earnings this week? I think it's especially towards the Walmart, HD, Lowe's, and Target. I don't know if
we're talking options wise.
Yeah, options wise.
I do like Walmart. I do think during this pandemic, I mean, they've just been killing it recently. So I'm expecting some pretty big moves on that one. I doubt it's bad earnings at all. Target, not 100% sure on Target, but I believe that larger chains like that during retail, everything like that should make a nicer move up. So expecting pretty good earnings on those two.
Yes. I really expect Lowe's to have good earning. Low and HD.
Yeah, I expect the Lowe's as well because Lowe's is sort of like a Home Depot style play. Home Depot has, so they're both pretty much like in the same field. I love Home Depot. I love playing options on those. So I do think they can make a nicer push up. I also saw one stock on the earnings list that I hadn't seen earlier today, RAIL. So rail.
Rail, yes, freight car.
So this one looks pretty nice. It's forming higher lows. Now we've got that support range at 588. It was a previous resistance turn support now. I do
Yes.
think that could see a nice push up on this. It's a pretty low risk play if we do take it here. Cutting anything below 588 would be your goal. It's forming higher lows also. So yeah, just keep that on watch. If earnings are great, this one could make a pretty big
Volume seems not to have, diminished like throughout, this whole price action.
Yeah.
We can look at the CMF right here. Like we still stay above the zero level, so I'm still in bullish territory. And then the on balance volume,
Yeah.
this quick indicator for those who don't know, it's basically they're adding the volume when the day is green, and they subtract the volume when the day is red. So pretty much it acts as like a like an average of the numbers of shares that are still long, I think, or are still active for the OBV. But again, rail, I really like the consolidation just above 588, as
Yeah.
you said. And then if we cross 701, I think it's a straight shot to it's a straight shot to 850, or at least 813, around
Yeah.
that range. So maybe turbo, note that one for your trade. um interesting earnings that will happen. Okay, so let's have a look at Walmart. Okay, let's have a look at Walmart. Walmart, I played this one in this range, didn't have much good results. Okay, but I don't know if like this range seems not that accurate, but we can see like the downtrend, the small downtrend happening. But then we see a big fake out, touch the 50 moving average, bounce right back up. And we're right now in a consolidation box, so a zone where where buyers and sellers are quite uh agreed on a price. They have agreed on a price. So to really play Walmart, so let's say Walmart has good earnings, okay, but the stock flushed down, okay, like stock just completely crashed, like we saw in many cases. We'll be looking at the 136.50 level. I think it's a nice support level here, given to us by this bounce of Walmart, and then this consolidation that happened just before the big leg up. So I think the bulls will step in for Walmart below 136. So if you can get something high 136, I have 136.50, 136.60 maybe. So if Walmart crash, look out for that level to pick up some. But like again, like I do not, I truly do not recommend picking stock right after it crashes after earnings. I think it's still like after earnings, like especially after great earnings, and the stock just plummet down. I think it's you need to let a little bit of time for it to develop, to see another level of support. So yeah, so if Walmart drop down, be patient with it and look for a stronger support, or just uh try to pick like if Walmart, for example, drop right down to 134, like like above my box. According to my rule, I will need to get in. But again, after a great earnings, if Walmart had great earnings and they just dropped, I'll be really just standing on my hand and try to pick really something at the like the nearest support as possible, because earnings, like especially after earnings and they crash, that can be a bad news, bad investor sentiment. So yeah, but then if we're looking at the upside, we have a huge gap for Walmart. and I think it's a it's a 1.22% gap to fill to the upside. So if we really picked up above 142, we may be looking straight at 145, 144.58. So a nice scalp, a nice option scalp here. um but again, we need to clearly break this downtrend first, and maybe earnings will be a great catalyst. Okay. And then if we look at lows, I got in lows for the pre-earnings run. I think low will have a great earnings. Um, Although the CMF, kind of shows some strong weaknesses. CMF cross below zero should be a sell signal for long for bulls right at this candle. But then the next 2 days we kind of gapped up above 198, 195, sorry, and we're kind of consolidating around just below the 200 area. So I'll be really looking for those to break up above the 200 area. I actually have a 200 205 debit spread calls for lows. So yeah, I expect low to give some great numbers for the Q2. um then let's have a look at C Limited. Okay, C Limited, it rebound right at its 200-day moving average again. Guys, a lot of stock are near its 200 moving day average. So we like we know we're just telling ourselves, okay, if I want to get long, this might be a good time, okay, to get long, because we have the 200 moving average below us. But if we break it below, um it can be, well, surely, like when stock drop below the 200, it will start a bearish trend. But usually, well, I mean, not usually, but throughout the recent month of trading, when a stock break a big level like this, like the 200, it tends to form a cup, and not stay below the 200 for a long time. So we might watch SE for that. If we look at the volume, though, we can see some very low number on the CMF, right? Like we're reading something near minus 0.27, which was the last time was achieved, back in November 2019, which is a long time ago. Okay, so SE right now, I think it's a great place to go long for the stock, because I think it's a potential bottom given to me by CMF. And then SC doesn't need that much volume to gap up again. We're really looking at resistance at 228.30 and support its 200 moving day average. We also have a strong clear little box here that we can create a level or a zone of consolidation somewhere like this. All right. And yeah, SC, if it breaks this, if it breaks my box, I will be looking at the 182 level for SE. So level like here, 180, 182. So yeah, on Watch SE, I think it's a great place to get in long for shares. um let's have a quick look at Chinese stock. Yeah, they don't look very nice. Okay, JD has 63.18 as a support, just below us. But we can see some stop at 65.64, where the previous resistant took, before gapping up the previous trading range right here. And right now we're nearing the border of the trading range again, defined by 65.64. So bulls really need to step in JD for that. So let's see how the Chinese market sees this name. And then we also have Baidu for this week. um when is Baidu? Baidu is Tuesday, um, Tuesday. So wow, big revenue for Baidu. Okay. Um, 1.66 expected revenue growth, 33% on Baidu. That's great. But again, Baidu looks a lot like JD, right? So I think the same analysis could be applied. Um, let's have a look at. So we have low SC. So again, target, looks a lot like HD and low. Again, cross below my CMF, bearish signal, but we'll be try to trading it towards a ER run. Um, I just want to point out, like, I'm in a tech lotto for next week. Thinking that tech will pick up, because it has been, oversold for quite a long time, for quite weeks. So I think Nvidia chips will be bought first, and then everything will follow after that. Um, but again, you know I'm really watching Walmart, HD, Target, and Lowe's. Great earnings from them, I expect. Throughout the week, let's see some indexes that did good. I think XLE has a quite weird week where we had a lot of selling volume coming on the weekly zone, the weekly chart. This may be initiating a change of trend to the downside, but for the more macroeconomic aspect, um, SPY will be supported pretty much right now, by XLE and XLF. Okay, and also towards XLP. I think is it consumer staples. So consumer staples, what are they in that? So Costco, Walmart again. Okay, so I again expect consumer staples to continue its run up. I think we're not near where that we need a hard correction on these names. We already had it. If we look at the XLP here, the perfect retest, still a very volatile candle that happened on the weekly. Okay, so I won't force anything with these names. Okay, maybe a change of trend. Maybe we will be entering again a bearish trend on the consumer staples industry, but let's see how it plays. So yeah, Chinese stock, I think, you know they're not in a great place, although they're above their 200 moving average, which can be a quite interesting place to get long, with a tight stop loss. And for this week, I'm really just looking for Walmart and HD Lowe's, to post their earnings, and maybe to get in long if they flush down. But again, I need to wait some confirmation, of a strong support before jumping in those name. If they gap down, of course. If they gap up, uh, I think I try to, scalp some in the pre-market, um not in the pre-market, but based on the pre-market levels, I'll try to scalp some for earnings. But again, do not I think, consumer staples will have great earnings overall. So all you target HD lows, like Turbo said. um just want to see quickly if we have a uh nice earnings coming in. GX. I also want to have a quick look at my screener. So some unusual volume screener. Maybe this will help Turbo to spot some nice stock. Okay. Um, so Turbo, I have DDS. This one is pretty expensive though, $125. WH right here. CIB ready to break out of its pennant. MTSI is acting on its support and on the 200-day moving average. Globe too. Okay, potentially a test up to 240 for Globe. So I'm just gonna send this one into the Discord options chat for you guys to have some ideas. Okay. And guys, if you're not if you're watching this on YouTube, I highly suggest you guys to get into the Discord. That's where the biggest actions happen during the day. And yeah, I think next week, you know, looking at a overall picture, um, potential sign of reversal on the weekly after this red candle. And yeah, I still expect some scalping environment. So day trades are, in my opinions, still the way to go and to play this market. We're obviously far from a strong bull run, but yeah, expect some choppiness around this range with this huge wick that happens last week. I think this week we like buyers and sellers will tend to agree around 414, 415, 416 for SPY. So yeah, I'll really be looking at these level, to trade smally. Nothing nothing to force trades. And yeah, so Turbo, do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really. As much as we covered everything, that was pretty much it. I do, if you guys want, I can give you guys my screener settings for Finviz also. How I found a bunch of these stocks. So we could also do that. But I did drop it in the chat a couple days ago. Not sure if most people got it, but let me give you guys the settings for my Finviz screener.
Futu has earnings Wednesday. Futu. Okay, I mean, Chinese stock again. It's a brokerage platform. Okay, so Turbo, you gonna present your screener?
Yeah, sure. Let me just post that, and then I'll just show
Can you
one more
post it
quick
on
thing.
options voice chat?
I'll just screenshot and post it in my channel probably.
Okay, perfect. That's good too.
Probably the easiest way to do it.
That's good too. All right, so let's have a quick look at Futu before leaving you guys. Futu on the weekly, looks pretty weak. We can see, the volume moving average crossing the green moving average crossing down, which means we may be entering, a great a bearish run for the next few weeks. But I have some like the OBV is confirming price action on the weekly, but then CMF tends to look to break out of the zero level, so the trigger signal. So I need to have a look on a daily. Let's have a look on a daily. It's between not in a clear zone, right? I think risk reward right now is not like not immensely great. We're 126 is our 126 is our resistance, and 100 is our support. So risk reward is obviously not there. So yeah, I'll try to, like if you want to get long in this company, um maybe right now, it's a relatively nice spot to get in long shares. But again, how Chinese stock has been performing the last month, the last 2 or 3 months wasn't that convincing of a move. So for Chinese stock, look for Chinese market to see what they are pricing the price. What How do they price food to? Okay. Buy zone for crypto. Do you play crypto, Turbo?
Yeah, I usually just trade it on the weekends. Nothing
Okay.
really in the day.
Yeah. Where's my
Actually, take a
Bitcoin?
look at it. Let me share a thing with you. What's your trading view username?
Yeah, I'm on TradingView.
What's your username for it? Let me give you access to this thing.
My username?
Yeah, I have this
Uh,
one algo for crypto, which is pretty sick. I usually just scalp off that.
Okay, but like you mean like my username for TradingView, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, profile.
Let me see.
It's this. That's my real name, by the way.
I guys gave access. So basically, what it is just like a supply and demand for crypto.
So how do I get in your script first?
Go to the trading view chart. Click indicators. Go to invite only.
Oh,
So it's usually on the 1
oh,
minute, the best one.
it works on. Oh, okay, I don't have. Okay, wait. I'll try on this one. I remove view up and multiple Bollinger Bands. Ooh, I want to get in. Oh, okay, wait.
Class C is for.
Yeah, like a lot of analysts are using this. What the fuck is that?
So it's basically
Oh my god, is it like
going
EMA
off of supply and demand.
clouds?
No. It's similar. It has EMA, but it's more of just supply and demand.
Oh my god, that's
So I usually
good.
just scalp with this on the.
Yeah, you scalp the green, the red, like the dots here, right?
Yeah, for me it looks different. I don't know how to show it, but I have the top as red and green. But if you take a look on the 1 minute, for example,
Oops.
so yeah, I just scalp zones like all day like that.
So whenever it touches that, you just go down.
Yeah, so I
Like
have it
red, you go
automatically
down.
just does it.
Oh, that's great. Wow. All right. Pretty nice. Pretty nice algo. I think I keep it. Looks pretty dope, bro.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
pretty
it
sick.
gives you every entry here.
Yeah, and then you get screwed over if it doesn't go up.
Yeah, this you get definitely screw over like,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 times.
Yeah, but at the
But
end of the day, it's
still,
an algo, so you got to know what you're doing. So
yeah,
it's just sort of
exactly,
like
exactly. It's just there for a tool, right? It's just there
yeah,
for a reference point. Like risk management still applies, and it's
yeah,
not because it's an algo that you just blindly follows it, right?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I will be posting the recording out after the call tonight, and for those who wants to who watch again the recording for next week, so you guys can. All right, so I'm gonna fat finger you board. What? So so thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you, Turbo. I wish you guys a good trading week for the upcoming week. Again, I think scalping turbo style is gonna be king for the next coming week, especially for big cap. Okay. um Again, only thing that I'm looking is consumer staple, so Walmart, Lowe's, HD, Target, right? So yeah, it's gonna be it for tonight. Watch this, and hope you guys have a good trading week. See ya, guys.
See everybody.